Right now, 5:30, former President Donald Trump back under the microscope. The Attorney General's office in New Jersey is looking into whether Trump's recent conviction could impact him holding a liquor license at some of his golf courses.
According to New Jersey law, anyone convicted of a crime cannot hold that type of license, and that rule also applies here in North Carolina.
All right, let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Clay Rhodes to this story to dig a little bit deeper on this. I know many of us are talking about here in the Mooresville area, and you look at the Trump golf course, so you're wondering, is there a connection? So I first want to clear up, does the former president own that golf course?
I mean, it all kind of goes under all of these. What the president did back in 2000 when he first was elected, he shifted ownership. Other former presidents put all their ownership of businesses into a blind trust. He just said, look, I got kids that know how to run businesses, so I'll give them control. And specifically with this one, all three of those golf courses in New Jersey are all controlled under his sons. He all shifted ownership. And so even though the Attorney General is asking this question, if they would have looked at the paperwork from 2016, 17, they would have saw that there was a clear shift, and then they took over ownership. So I'm really not sure what they're attempting to do there, because he doesn't own the businesses, i.e. doesn't hold a license. But this is not something that has been, a first issue. In D.C., they did the exact same thing. Once he got into office, a group of clergies and judges in D.C., when his D.C. hotel attempted to renew their license, said, listen, our local laws say you can only hold a license if you're of good character. And they challenged that he wasn't of good character. The ABC board did not believe that and allowed him to get his license back there as well. But those are the problems with these types of challenges. You just got to follow the paper trail.
Well, anyone who owns a business, most of the times it's under an LLC anyway, so it's not under that actual person's name. But wouldn't it be in New Jersey's best interest to allow him to have the liquor license? They get the taxes on it.
It would, but I mean, these are very, very hard, fast rules. I mean, I have had clients that have had licenses in this type of industry, and if there is some type of criminal connection, it is removed instantly. And so that is the normal course of business. Even if you have an LLC, if your name is attached to that business, that application for the license, it will be removed, because they're going to do a vetting process of all of the ownership. So the CEO, Eric, is the one that runs this business now. But at the time when they applied for the license, it was Donald Trump. And so they would have vetted him to ensure that he had no criminal convictions in the past. Nothing that would have stopped him to put him in a position that he could do some type of moral turpitude. And that's what they're looking for. And obviously having 34 plus convictions places you in a different situation. But as I mentioned before, this is something that he already took care of. He has great lawyers around him. I have to give them credit every time. These are folks that are going to put him in the best position to be successful. You're going to be president. How do you ensure that your business is protected? You need to remove ownership, so you can't have any conflict at all.
So do you think there that the motive then is to be able to just bring down the brand? And do you think that this is a successful way of doing that? Because I feel like, some people say all news is not, bad news, or all bad advertising is not bad advertising. So people who support Trump are still going to support his businesses. I just wonder what that means to the brand.
I mean, I think the Attorney General's office, because they haven't made many comments on it, I think they're just doing things by the book. They see this conviction, triggers a red flag, let's do a background check. But I just wish they would have done a further background check, because then it wouldn't have been a big push. And his attorneys wouldn't have had to issue a response, and they had to go ahead and prove that he doesn't have ownership. But this was a quick Google search, and you can see who owns all three of those New Jersey. So somebody at that office did not do their background check.
Well, it makes you wonder what outside forces are kind of influencing
that part,
those decisions.
100%.
That part.